Beneath the porticos of Bologna lies a secret that will forever change the way you look at this city. Imagine a mainland Venice, pulsating with life and commerce, but completely invisible to the eyes of those who walk its streets. This is not a dream, but the forgotten reality of Bologna, a city that hides an entire network of navigable canals beneath its famous porticos. Today we will take you on an extraordinary journey from the heart of the city to its unexplored depths to discover how water has shaped the destiny of the learned, the read, and now the secret Bologna. There is a whisper that runs through the ancient alleys, an echo that gets lost among the infinite arches of the Bolognese porticos. It is not a legend nor a tourist tale, but the breath of a forgotten history hidden right beneath our feet. Bologna, the city we think we know so well, with its soaring towers, its lively squares, and its unmistakable flavors, hides a pulsating, aquatic, and mysterious heart. It is a revelation that overturns all our perceptions. An entire city beneath the city, a labyrinth of waterways that were once the lifeblood of an economic empire. Imagine roads not made of stone but of water, traveled not by carts but by boats loaded with goods. A network of navigable canals that, like a circulatory system, brought life, work, and prosperity to every corner of this medieval metropolis. We are not talking about some hidden stream, but about a complex hydraulic infrastructure, an ancient engineering marvel which allowed Bologna to flourish, becoming one of the richest and most influential cities in Europe. This is the story of a secret Bologna, a city that for centuries has prospered thanks to an invisible, silent, but incredibly powerful energy. And it's a story that begins with a small, unexpected miracle. The first step in unraveling this enigma is a place that, at first glance, might seem insignificant. We are in Via Piella, a quiet street in the heart of the historic center. Here, between the facades of ancient buildings that huddle together, there is a small window. Not just any window, but a cut in the wall, almost a curious eye that opens onto an unexpected world. You approach, push the wooden shutters, or find them already open, as if in silent invitation, and what you see leaves you breathless. There, where you would expect to find another alley or a brick wall, a river flows. The water appears as if by magic, calm and dark, between the buildings that are reflected in its surfaces. It's a real twist, a moment of pure urban magic. It is the Rhine Canal which here, in an uncovered stretch, reveals itself in all its unexpected beauty. This glimpse, known to all as the little window of Via Piella, is much more than a simple tourist curiosity. It is a breach in the urban fabric, a dimensional gateway that connects the noisy and frenetic Bologna of the present to the silent and industrious Bologna of the past. This is where our journey begins, a journey not only in space but in time, an immersion in the bowels of the city where the noise of traffic fades and gives way to the eternal murmur of the waters. It is the promise of discovery, an invitation to descend where the sunlight cannot reach, to touch with our own hands the liquid foundations of an ingenious and almost forgotten civilization. Now imagine leaving behind the daylight, the buzz of the city, and going down. We descend into the depths of the Bologna subsoil, into a world made of shadows, humidity, and a silence broken only by the lapping of the water. Each step takes us deeper into a labyrinth of red brick tunnels as ancient as the city itself. These are not simple tunnels, but real water highways, built with a mastery that still amazes us today. The walls, damp and cool, are covered with terracotta bricks, each laid with millennia of care to form arches and vaults that support the weight of the entire city above us. Here, in the heart of this underground network, you will not find dry ruins, but living, pulsating rivers. The Rhine and the Aposa, the two aquatic souls of Bologna, still flow through these tunnels today, serene and unexplored for most of the time. They are no longer the rushing rivers that diverted their course to feed the locks, but calm, almost reverent currents that whisper stories of distant times. The atmosphere is surreal, suspended in time. Every drop falling from the ceiling resonates, amplifying the sense of isolation and wonder. It's like entering a parallel dimension where the past is not simply a memory but a palpable reality. The artificial light that guides us creates plays of dancing shadows on the bricks, revealing the incrustations of time, the scars of centuries of uninterrupted flow. Down here, the air is thick with history, with an earthy, mineral smell that speaks of ancient stones and eternal waters. It's almost as if you can hear the echo of the boats that once sailed these waterways, the chatter of the merchants, the rustle of the fabrics that were made thanks to this hidden power. There is no rush, no chaos, only the slow, steady flow of the rivers that have shaped Bologna's destiny. It's a soul stirring journey, one that makes us feel small in the face of the grandeur of human ingenuity and the inexorable force of nature. As we delve into this underground world, we come across silent testimonies to an age of extraordinary engineering. The medieval locks, imposing stone and wood structures, still stand today, silent witnesses to a bold design that defies the centuries. Imagine the medieval engineers of Bologna without modern technology, capable of taming the force of rivers, diverting their course, regulating their flow to feed an entire city. These locks, now frozen and submerged in darkness, were once the beating heart of the hydraulic system. They were the gates that opened and closed the flow of water, directing it towards the factories, tanneries, and mills. Each lock represented a crucial control point, a functional work of art that allowed every single drop of water to be made the most of. Alongside these majestic locks, we also discover ancient bridges, now forgotten, that once connected the banks of these underground canals. Stone bridges, eroded by time and water, which once served to allow people and goods to cross inland waterways, creating a real underground road network. These bridges, now ghosts in the darkness, remind us that the world below was once vibrant and accessible, an integral part of everyday life in Bologna. They were not just passage structures, but pillars of a civilization that had learned to live with and prosper thanks to water. These silent and imposing works are more than simple archaeological remains. They are tangible proof of an era in which water was not just a natural element, but the primary source of energy, the invisible engine that moved the economy and society. Every brick, every block of stone tells a story of tireless work, innovation, and a profound understanding of the laws of nature. These are artifacts that tell us of a Bologna that was able to look beyond the surface, that was able to transform an apparently wild element into a precious resource, laying the foundations for its fortune and prestige. And as we watch them, we sense the echo of ancient wisdom, a lesson in adaptation and ingenuity that still resonates today. This secret hydraulic system was not a mere embellishment or an engineering masterpiece in and of itself. It was the true economic engine of Bologna, the beating heart that fueled its extraordinary prosperity. Think about it. In a time when electricity didn't exist and steam power was still a long way off, water was the only clean, renewable energy source available. And Bologna knew how to harness it like no other. This invisible energy, channeled through kilometers of underground and surface canals, was used to power hundreds of machines. We are mainly talking about mills, grain mills that ground food for the population, but above all, silk mills. Silk, at that time, was the white gold of Europe, precious and refined fabrics which made those who produced them immensely rich. Bologna, thanks to this network of canals, became an undisputed power in the textile industry, particularly in the production of silk. Its spinning mills, powered by water, were cutting edge for their time and produced silk of the highest quality, which was exported throughout the continent. The banks of the canals, even those now hidden, were dotted with workshops and factories. Here, expert craftsmen worked tirelessly, transforming the rough cocoons into lustrous threads, all thanks to the constant energy provided by the diverted rivers. This ability to produce silk en masse and of high quality elevated Bologna to a leading role in international trade. Not only production, but also transportation. Canals were not only sources of energy, but also communication routes. Goods and raw materials were transported through these hidden waterways, allowing Bolognese merchants to enrich their fortunes exponentially. The city became a true commercial hub, a Venice of the mainland, as many called it, but with an even more mysterious soul, since much of its water network was hidden from view. This wealth wasn't confined to the economic sphere alone. The profits generated by the textile industry allowed for massive investments in culture, art, and education. It is no coincidence that Bologna is known as the learned city, home to the oldest university in the Western world. Economic prosperity provided the resources needed to attract and support brilliant minds, artists, and scholars, contributing to its cultural and intellectual wealth. The enriched merchants became patrons, the hidden rivers became the silent financiers of cathedrals of learning. In practice, the canals were not just a means, but the very essence of Bologna's greatness. They transformed a medieval city into an industrial and cultural giant whose influence extended far beyond its borders. The story of this aquatic Bologna is the story of how human ingenuity, in harmony with nature, can forge a glorious and lasting destiny, leaving a legacy that, though hidden, continues to flow beneath the veil of time. And so, after having traveled these silent waterways and having touched with our own hands the remains of an ancient grandeur, we find ourselves faced with the irresistible charm of this dark aquatic world. It's a charm that has nothing to do with the glittering modernity or the imposing architecture that towers over our heads. It is a deeper, more intimate, almost spiritual charm. As we rise towards the surface, the deafening noise of the modern city and with its horns, voices, and the din of traffic slowly reemerges. But for a moment down there, beneath all that chaos, we found a surprising peace. The noise disappears completely, and only the most ancient and primordial sound remains, the constant murmur of the water, a reassuring sound, almost a heartbeat, which for centuries has accompanied the city's sleep and wakefulness. It is the sound of the rivers that built the fortune of Bologna, that nourished its ingenuity and prosperity. It's a melody that takes us back in time, to a time when the rhythm of life was dictated by nature, not by digital clocks. This water, which has shaped the destiny of Bologna, continues to flow incessantly, carrying with it not only history but also the secrets of a glorious past. It is a silent invitation to look beyond appearances, to dig beneath the surface, to rediscover priceless treasures that the frenzy of modern life often makes us forget. Hidden Bologna, with its canals and whispered stories, is not just a museum memory, but a living, breathing part of the city's identity. It reminds us that every place has layers of history, and that sometimes the most beautiful and meaningful secrets are precisely those that are not seen at first sight. Rediscovering these places means rediscovering a part of ourselves, our ability to be amazed, to connect with the past, and to appreciate the ingenuity of those who came before us. Bologna, the learned, the red, the fat, is also the secret one, and its aquatic embrace is there, waiting for anyone who wants to hear its most intimate stories. If this journey into the secret heart of Bologna has fascinated you, don't miss our next video on other Italian mysteries.